Hey there, it's Donna Vetters again, principal of VE Cycle Management, and we're here with Coffee Chat. Again, we're going to talk about some of the aspects of HIPAA compliance. Glad you could join me. Sorry for the delay in getting another video out to you, but life has been crazy with people just calling me about Compliancy Guard and how I can help them achieve, illustrate, and maintain HIPAA compliance. And one of the things that we are going to talk about today is the requirement for a risk assessment. And you may say, all I need is a risk assessment to be HIPAA compliant. And it's only one part of the meaningful use requirements that have been placed on today's providers. It does not make you HIPAA compliant. Having a risk assessment alone does not make you HIPAA compliant. It's just the first stage of the HIPAA compliance checklist. In stage 2 of being HIPAA compliant, you actually have to illustrate the corrective actions that come about from having this risk assessment. Each physical location must have a privacy and security policy and procedures to protect the PHI of your patients. So each physical location has to have a risk assessment, and you have to have a plan, an action plan, if you will, on how you are going to solve the problems that you had found on your risk assessment. Now, the High Tech Act, which is something we talked about in the last coffee chat, requires that you have full HIPAA compliance. If you ignore this, and if you attest when you're attesting for your meaningful use and you say, okay, have you had a risk assessment, OCR can still come in. And remember, OCR is the independent contractor that does all the HIPAA auditing for CMS for the HIPAA Act. They can still find you grossly negligent at that point and increase your fines up to $50,000 per incident if you can't prove that you have an action plan. Now, why is the Compliancy Guard important in this process? Well, the Compliancy Guard is a full puzzle solver for the HIPAA puzzle. And what it does, and excuse me if I look away because I'm looking at my other screen so that I can tell you the right things. What the current market solutions are out there is that you can probably get an independent person to do your risk assessment for you. And of course, that's a consultant fee, and they're going to charge you money for that. If you need well, more than likely, you're going to need a remediation plan because remember, as we said before, 70% of offices are not HIPAA compliant right now. So you're pretty much, odds are, you're going to need a remediation plan. Wow, why can't I say the words? That's going to be additional money from that consultant, okay? The typical solutions are policies and procedures that you can buy and training templates for your security risk assessment. And those couple of things there only address the first phase, as we said, stage 1 of HIPAA high-tech compliance. You're going to get piecemealed and you're going to get nickeled and dimed by consultants or by other service providers to get you through this whole HIPAA puzzle. And I'm going to put up a picture of this puzzle now and what the Compliancy Guard does for you in relationship to what other service providers can provide you. But I'm also going to talk about it. So policies, procedures, and training, they could be upwards of another $500 or so, depending on what they do for you. But you're not going to have, you're still going to have to buy things like document and version control and tracking. That's an additional fee. Remember, we talked a little bit about last time about business associate management, and that's an additional, usually like $600 to add on that piece. You could be paying $3,000 to $5,000 for an outside consultant to come in and do all this for you, yet they're still not going to give you all of the tools that you need. That old saying about how you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, or if you teach a man to fish, they feed him for life. If you give him a fish, you feed him for a day. I may not have the sayings correct, but basically, you get my point. you can have these people all come in and you can pay all this money and have them lay out everything for you. But if you're not managing it directly, then you're not able to illustrate, which is one of the three things. Remember, we want to achieve, illustrate, and maintain. Maintenance is also the key. So you're not able to illustrate and maintain on an annual basis or even semi-annual your HIPAA compliance just by having that risk assessment and maybe some policies and procedures and a consultant standing over your back saying that you're okay and you're paying them $5,000 or something to do so. You also need to have an incident management plan. What if PHI is actually leaked out of your office? How are you going to address that? Do you even have a HIPAA compliance officer? I went to Plenty of Practices a couple of weeks ago and gave them some information on Compliancy Guard. And I asked, can you give this to your HIPAA privacy officer? And people looked at me like I had three heads. You have to have a compliancy officer or someone who is doing the management of all of the pieces of the puzzle that I just showed you to be able to say that you're maintaining your HIPAA compliance. Risk assessment is not enough, and I can't say that enough. So the total cost of trying to get all of these pieces from all these different sources could be upwards of $8,000 per year. Who wants to pay that when you have a one-stop shop solution in Compliancy Guard, which will give you the ability to achieve, illustrate, and maintain, aim, achieve, illustrate, maintain. You're going to get that drilled into your head in these little coffee chats. Because the Compliancy Guard is a one-stop shop web-based tool that's going to provide you templates for policies and procedures. It's going to walk you through your risk assessment and your audits as if you were being visited by OCR themselves. It also gives you tools to have that action plan, that remediation plan, and it will be clearly documented. You also will have document and version control and business associate management. We're going to talk about business associates in another coffee chat because that's the big thing with the omnibus rule that came out in September of 2013 is that your business associates need to be certified as compliant as you are, and you need to be the babysitter and watch them do that. And you'll also have incident management plans. But the best thing about the Compliancy Guard is that this whole web-based overview program, one-stop shop solution, is that it was written by former HIPAA security auditors. So they know this business inside and out. Again, it's self-managed, but you have help. You have a compliancy officer that is with you every step of the way, and you have a hotline that you can call at any point in time to get information to help you use the system or to customize the whole thing for your specific practice and what you need and what your needs are, and to guide you through that risk assessment. That is so important. It's stage one. Again, it's not enough though. You got to go full bore on the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. And you got to keep on top of it. Most people think that if you look at your policies and procedures once a year, or if you offer some training to your staff once a year and they sign a paper saying they got it, that's good enough. Well, you have to be able to do more. You have to back that up with evidence. And electronic evidence will keep you from losing those signature papers for people taking that training. Because everything will be online, you'll be able to have all that information at your fingertips. Your action plan will be online. How far you've gone through your action plan or remediation plan will be online. Your risk assessment and your results of that and what you're doing to mitigate that risk will be all online. And when OCR walks in, and they're gonna come, don't think that they're not, because they're being paid millions of dollars by CMS to do this. They will be there. and you will be prepared. And again, the fines are $50,000 or more per incident, up to $1.5 million. And you can look online and just Google who's been hit by HIPAA fines, and you'll find practices all over the country that were unexpectedly hit with astronomical fines, and they thought that they were prepared. And remember, we said 70% of practices are not prepared. 79% of people who are attesting for meaningful use are not prepared to pass their HIPAA audits. I can help you do that. I can get you Compliancy Guard. And for a small practice with one location, it's $2,000 a year. Please contact me, vettersenterprises.com. I've got all my information down here at the bottom. We'll post this on our YouTube channel, but I want you to know that we're here for you. We care, and we want you to be compliant. And the small guys need just as much help as the big guys do. So reach out to us. I'll be circulating this coffee chat around. So grab a cup, watch the video, have some coffee, and we'll see you for the next coffee chat. Thanks again for joining us. This is Donna Vetters, Principal of VE Cycle Management, and Compliancy Guard is the product of the future. And contact me. I can get you a demo, and you can see how much money you can save and how HIPAA compliant you can become by yourself in a very short period of time. And it'll take a lot of weight off your shoulders. Have a good cup of coffee, and I'll talk to you soon.